Next to a very high stone wall is a hexagonal depressed surface, and next to the surface is a staircase, up to an elongated Gothic stone construction with a tiled roof. Gothic buildings have pointed arched openings between pillars after pillars. It's an open floor plan instead of solid walls. This construction has light gray pillars. These arches appear to be of faintly pink stones, and this bear up a wall of light blue stones. Inside the first row of Gothic pillars and under the tile roof, is a narrow walkway, a floor of white-green marble. The underside of the tile roof is of lilac stones. Inside the second row of Gothic pillars is an open hexagonal surface without a roof. There are 6 walls of Gothic walls with tiled roofs around the surface, because the surface is hexagonal. We discover that large fruit trees have taken over some edges of the place, and King Predator with flowers in his hair, sits on a throne in the middle of the room, with servants on his sides. Next to the King Predator, it grows quickly up. A huge flower unfolds, and inside sits a human-like being, just like Pandora with cat ears and also of an unknown nationality, but she has a light pink hair color with a complicated hairstyle which makes the head bigger. Just like with Pandora are her eyebrows the same color as her hair, so it must be natural, she must have been born like this. Her eyes glow in a cerise color, so it's brighter than the surroundings. Her body is partly hidden by the large flower, and the smaller parts of her body that otherwise have clothes, are covered by plants, such as branches, leaves, and small flowers. She sits comfortably and thinks everything is fun. Jennifer, who has imprinted marks in her forehead, stands wide-legged and fingers embarrassed on her mouth like a question mark. She looks embarrassed up at the kitty cat girl with that pink hair. Pandora gets surprised that it is precisely her with that pink hair.
Which one of you came up with the idea to use the crystals as ammunition?
The Gothenburger goof raises a hand. The kitty cat lady with pink hair.
Yo sis. Na ala bledvake. You look like an old fossil that a shark has chewed on.
I suspected anyway that it was you, Gondwana.
In fossilized clothing, Pandora really looks like a ghost.
Okay, whoever wins this duel can keep this creature. I will choose a candidate, while you already have.
A proud predator emerges and stands in between us and the Predator King. The Gothenburg goof removes his crystal from his firearm. A marine soldier takes his firearm, and the Gothenburg goof puts his crystal back around his neck. The knives of the chosen predator emerge. Jennifer shiver of fear.
Let the fight begin.
Look at me! I'm such a good chef!
The Gothenburger goof takes out a large knife from a lower trouser leg. The predator swings an arm towards the Gothenburg goof, who ducks. He pushes the predator back with a little kick against the belly. Predator swings the other arm towards the Gothenburger goof, who ducks backwards. Predator swings his first arm towards the Gothenburg goof, who ducks to the side, and stabs with his knife against the predator, who pushed the stab attempt aside. Predator makes a powerful swing from below, a brutal deadly attack. The Gothenburger goof's upper body becomes 110% shredded into 3 parts. Stands there for a while. The Gothenburg goof's crystal begins to self-shine in white-blue tone. And he begins himself to self-illuminate in white, so it's impossible to distinguish who it is. The upper body moves back together, it stops self-illuminate, and he melts together. The Gothenburg goof, who is no longer damaged in any way, not even a scratch.
We can keep on all the day!
Okay, jaha,
Says a marine soldier, who fingers in the holes of his clothes. The Gothenburg goof stab with his knife against the predator.
Silly little Kniefe, silly little creature.
The predator makes a sharp swing from below, so the Gothenburg goof ducks backwards.
Oh, the odds are not equal!
Another predator from somewhere.
Who cares?
He activates his beam gun.
What the fuck?
The Gothenburger goof turns distracted around. The predator swings an arm against the Gothenburg goof. as out of fear, blocks with his own claws. Suddenly there are visible lines of metal, thick as USB cables, compressed on his arms around where his knife claws are.
Ooh!
The other predator fires a plasma beam from somewhere. The Gothenburg goof jumps very high backwards. But the opponent predator is too slow to do anything at all. The Gothenburg goof does a somersault in the air and lands ungracefully on his feet. The Gothenburg goof strikes with a fist in the air against the other predator. Nothing happens, but the first predator has a hole in his stomach of the plasma beam. The Gothenburg goof strikes again with a fist in the air.
Such a strange sound!
Gondwana stands up in surprise.
But that's not a pure game.
She jumps forwards up into the air and reveals that she is not stuck in anything at all. Gondwana reveals a clothing of several giant flower petals in pink, lilac, gold, and white. It's a cute girly outfit for a lady, but she is a kitty cat lady. What could you expect? It is a romantic-like style of glossy material like satin, a corset with vertical lace lines so it becomes a stomach part and different side parts, with two arch-shaped lines below the breast part, and more material on the large breasts. Without hanging over the shoulders, instead it's two round arch shapes of lace at the top, like those sharp upper parts of a heart. She lands by stomping one foot on the ground. Now you can see that she has a wide and short little skirt, in the same colors and materials as the upper part. There must be an underskirt in this, and the hip makes the skirt even wider. She truly is one with nature with her colors. Then there are stamens and pistils and flowers on her attire, for Pandora looks like a fossil, in comparison. Gondwana strikes with a powerful fist in the ground. So hard that a large oblong stone emerges quickly from the ground in front of the other predator. The conveyor stone is so large that it knocks the other predator in the head with a cartoonishly bull's eye, with such frictional force that he flies away against a large brick wall.
OPG free. Na, hoopsie.
The predator collides cartoonishly with the brick wall. And he has some green blood on his face. Pandora stands next to Gondwana and extends it inside of a hand towards the predators.
What kind of logic is that?
King Predator shakes his head and looks very disappointed.
You, boy, you need to recharge your crystal after that, shredded like that. These crystals are not always available, and get emptied eventually.
My name is Dolphin.
A predator plasma shot is fired against a brunette kitty cat lady who has a messy hairstyle and a longing gaze. She gets shiverly scared and makes a blocking gesture.
Now you have the responsibility for LV646.
LV646, what is that?
It was on that planet that the predators found the crystal I slept in, before they took the crystal with them and woke me up on this planet. If it is true what they told me, I, John K. It is a dark and unpleasant planet without sunlight. There are huge black insects, or cockroaches, and I have an unfinished business with that planet.
What are those black insects?
We are familiar with those.
Time to go home.
We leaves the hexagonal Gothic place by running to the constructions that has roofs. Some predator plasma shots are fired towards the small gate out, towards the large stone wall we first came from. The little gate gets covered by stones. Gondwana runs out on the depressed surface and throws something away, pulled away from one of her thick arms. It's a globe-shaped pointed thing. It is a large rosebud, slightly larger than a head, that settles near the blockage. A new opening, with thousands of large spikes from a smoky explosion. Pandora creates a protective from falling things from the explosion, with a blocking arm. We runs through smoke and rocks, and through the new hole in the wall, and we continues to run towards the hexagonal spaceship. Pandora, who is the last one to run in the spaceship,
Is everyone with?
she jumps in the spaceship. We are on our way past the clouds, and finally leaves the jungle planet. The hexagonal spaceship travels in the space, and the large crystal thing is visible some distance away. The imprinted marks in Jennifer's forehead after all the bricks have faded a bit, they are not as visible anymore. She jumps up in Tolfin's lap, to cuddle and purr intimately with him, like a kitty cat lady.
Why do we sometimes end sentences with a meow?
Because it feels good inside to do so, meow.
So strange, you should not be able to react in this way. 3 bricks did hit your forehead, and a hammer deep in your pussy. How do you feel?
I just feel a little sluggish in my head, nothing special. That hammer was a little too square for my taste, but long enough for me, meow.
If that didn't matters to us, then, what is good or bad for us?
I can't say if this reaction is good or bad. I have to look for that answer.
Do we have X-ray? Meow.
No, we don't.
Gondwana, why did the predators try to stop us from leaving?
Asks the brunette kitty cat lady with messy hair. Gondwana looks around.
You have Fata Morgana crystals due to Pandora. I have something similar.
Gondwana stands and looks peacefully out into the space. The large crystal thing is visible some distance away, and she makes an arm movement. A predator spaceship suddenly becomes visible, which has lots of green cracks everywhere. All the lights on the predator spaceship went off.
Mine terraforms.
Gondwana began herself to glow very brightly. Something golden green semi-transparent swirls around her, and she stretches out her arms for a deep breath. Gondwana, who has absorbed the most of what was around her.
Pandora, we really should do something about your clothes.
Oh help, you can't get me so easily.
The brunette kitty cat lady with messy hair discovered that she has a hand grenade with her. The marks in Jennifer's forehead after 3 bricks has almost disappeared. Then the kitty cat lady with the messy hair gets happy. The hexagonal space vehicle goes towards the large crystal cluster. The large crystal cluster opens a hatch that becomes a floor with Gothic walls on 2 sides, a landing opportunity. And the hatch goes into the large crystal cluster. To a storage room for hexagonal spaceships, where the craft was in before the trip. The gang gets out of the hexagonal spaceship. When Gondwana gets out of the small spaceship, she yawns and says,
Some sunlight wouldn't hurt.
Pandora walks past Tolfin.
In a moment I will promote my little marine soldiers, and I invite you Tolfin and the others to the ceremony. You are short compared to the people from the past. Look for the round room 360.
When Pandora is on her way into a narrow hallway between 2 giant rooms, she happens to come across someone in military clothes who does not have any cat ears, someone who never accompanied on the trip.
Is LV646 visible on the computers?
No.
I know where it is.
Gondwana arrives at an open Gothic space which is a few floors high, where the sides have narrow roads with railings leading to rooms or Gothic halls somewhere. There is a bunch of people just hanging out. Gondwana yawns.
Have you also had a long day? Anyway, I'm going to rest a little. Take it easy.
Yes, but sure, we can take it easy for a while.
A marine dude finds a standing giant crystal which stands straight up from the ground on a round surface, which he decides to run and jump towards. And hug.
There is always food when I am with.
Gondwana is recharging with energy around her. She strikes hard with a fist in the ground. She stands with one knee on the ground, and cracks in the ground extends away from her. It is her own crystal she put in the ground. Large roots and greenery begin to grow, both from inside and around the crystal spaceship. The large crystal spaceship begins itself to grow out. To a more elongated shape, with a greenhouse. The large crystal spaceship disappears as when a mirage disappears.